Chelsea's first pre-season game against Wrexham, result 2-2, a draw, mixed feelings around the fan base. It took me a while to actually make this video. I was flying, traveling, now we're back. Plus the game was in the middle of the night, so didn't really have the energy to film it earlier than right now. Now I did write down a couple of things I want to touch on, but I do first want to start with the main thing here. It's just the first game of preseason. The squad were barely a couple of days in the United States. Jet lag is a real thing, so mentally and fitness-wise, they were not at their best level. That said, it's still Chelsea against Wrexham, so I was expecting the team to win. That's it, that's the baseline for this video. Now let's dive a little bit deeper and especially talk a little bit about a couple of players' performances and the 2 goals conceded. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. We're on our way to reach 5,000 subscribers, so would really appreciate all the support. So let's start with the basic stats here. We basically dominated possession. That's nothing new for Chelsea, right? 75% possession compared to 25, 767 passes compared to 254, pass accuracy 91% compared to 73%. And here again, we go back to the basics, right? We've seen these types of stats last season as well. We dominate the game, but we do nothing with it. 11 shots compared to 6, but only 3 shots on target compared to 4. This is definitely something I want to see us improve, but like I said, just the first preseason game. The next one, and of course the next games, will be a bit more difficult. The level does go up and up and up. Now, let's touch on 2 youngsters. So first, Tyreek George. In my opinion, a very, very good performance on the left-hand side. Are we going to see him next season? I don't know. Hopefully he gets some minutes because again, we are going to play quite a lot of games next season. So there will definitely be some chances for him to show his quality. Do I see him maybe benefiting more if he goes on loan? To be honest, no, not really, not at this stage of his career. If he can stay another season at Chelsea, academy plus first team, see how he evolves, how he develops, then maybe next season or maybe in January we might decide to loan him out, but I do want to see a little bit more of Tyreek George this summer. Now, switching to something a bit more serious, and that's the striker, Marc Guiu. He actually impressed me. Now, I'm not going to say that he's the next Diego Costa or whatnot. No, but he impressed me. First performance for Chelsea, he was very, very dynamic, energetic, knew when to run, knew when to come and get the ball. So very, very good performance by him. And to be honest, it's sad to say, but let's be honest here. If we compare his performance to the one of Armando Broja, I mean, it's as clear as day how big the difference here is. Plus, one is going to be sold for pure profit and the other has been bought for not that much money. Which of course raises a couple of questions. Do we actually need to buy another striker? Do we actually need to loan him out? I don't know. Again, just the first preseason. So let's see how it performs against bigger teams. And so this was the first team. This was the first half team. So we got Sanchez in goal, Tosin Adarabioyo, Badiashile, Levi Colwill as the 3 at the back. Because 3 at the back. It's basically Tosin and Badiashile. Levi Colwill played as a left back, so to say. Reece James is the right back, but he was inverted. Then we got Marc Guiu as a striker, and Nkunku, as we've talked about in the video before the game. And Nkunku, the coach, did say he can play in different positions, and that's exactly what we've seen from him. Madueke had a weak-ish performance, back to his selfish self, let's say, but to be honest, some wingers need to be more selfish than others. I do believe that being selfish for him will be quite positive, although sometimes he could lift his head up a little bit and look which player is next to him. Then we've got Tyreek George, talked about him. Reece James, nothing to add here. Let's see how he's evolving in his new role. Chukwuemeka actually played for the whole game, so that's pretty impressive. I like the guy. Hopefully he plays for us a bit more next season. Romeo Lavia had a very, very good performance for Chelsea. To be honest, he and Nkunku will be like new signings for us next season. Hopefully they all stay fit for quite a long time. And yeah, I mean, he's still young. His dominance in the midfield is definitely noticeable. So hopefully we're going to see way more from Lavia in the coming season than we did in the previous one. As for the second half team, this was it. Bergstrom, Gusto, Ashampong, Fofana, Chilwell, Ogochukwu, Santos, Chukwuemeka, Angelo, Broya, and Sterling. Another youngster here, Josh Ashampong, that I would love to see more and more. He's still young. You're going to see when we considered the goal where he played his part in that. But overall, very, very good prospect, very, very exciting. Sterling looked sharp as well, so that's great to see. Angelo is a player that the more and more we're going to see him play, the more we're going to be asking the same question again and again. Should we loan him out or should he stay at the club and add some quality to the squad? What do you think, Angelo? Loan or keep? And so let's move on to analyzing the first goal, the first mistake here, which is pretty easy to analyze because you have here Chilwell. He's been screaming for some help because he has now to cover two Wrexham players here. This is unacceptable. Where is the guy that should be covering for him? This just doesn't make sense. This is a lose situation no matter what happens because the ball goes here, a cross. Okay, small mistake here by the goalkeeper, I would say, to maybe try and block that cross. But okay, that doesn't matter. The big mistake is this part right here. Chilwell having to cover two of Wrexham's players. Of course, one of the two is scoring the goal. Moving to goal number 2, it starts off here with Josh Ashampong with the ball. Now, again, small mistake, first preseason, he's still young, they're all still learning. I'm just here to analyze goals. So, he gets the ball, wants to run with the ball, but to be honest, the better option would have been pass the ball to one of your teammates. You've got 1, 2, 3 next to you and another one a bit further away, but to be honest, could have been a good pass right here, although the interception, well, there was a risk for interception, so either way, you've got 3 teammates next to you. What does he decide to do? Well, he decides to run with the ball a little bit, runs into some trouble, and this is again the KO move, the knockout move. Why is that? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 Chelsea players here, completely cancelled. They will never get back in time. He's on the ground. He's moving in the wrong direction. Body language here says a lot. He's not moving anymore. He's like, oh, I need to turn around and try and cover this. These 2 players here are way too far to cover for the player that is going to run for the ball that gets passed to him. And so you get this frame right here. Ball has been sent to this player. He can now run and run and run. They are extremely far from him. Although it was an easy goal, could have done a little bit better, but again, it's these types of situations that the Maresca system has some flaws. We've talked about that in the first Maresca video. Yes, these things can happen, but these things happen again because of small and bad choices. But overall, you have to understand that this is the first game that these players are playing together, right? Tosin Adarabioyo, first Chelsea game. Marc Guiu, first Chelsea game. Romeo Lavia, basically first Chelsea game as well as a full team, let's say, and Nkunku, although Nkunku is continuing here his good form from last season, pre-season. Hopefully this time he does stay healthy and doesn't get injured because of a bad pitch. Then you've got the other players here also. It's the first time that they're really playing together in a game. Just 45 minutes, but still, it's not a competitive game. It's a friendly one. They still want to be competitive, as we've seen with Levi Colwill at the start of the match. But first preseason, get all your mistakes out there, and then in training, try to avoid making those again and again. So overall, although I wanted to see a win, obviously we always want to win, I fully acknowledge that this is the first preseason game. You should not put the bar quite high just yet. Lots of players got their first minute under their belts for quite a while, so you have to take that into consideration. You have to take the jet lag into consideration as well. But yes, there are some players that perform better than the others. But let's see what happens against Celtic, against Man City, against Inter Milan. Are we playing against Real Madrid as well, I believe? So let's see what happens in those bigger games. Plus, there are some players that will join the team. Palmers, Nicholas Jackson, Mudryk, apparently was not even in the squad. So let's see what happens with that. You've got Enzo Fernandez returning at the end of the month as well. So yeah, Lots of things can still change. Good-ish preseason game, first preseason game. That's about it. That's what I can say. A solid 6, maybe 6.5 on 10. That's about it for me. Of course, do share your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.